Boom.
Boom. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Here we are.
Yep, here we are. Welcome everybody to Finding Your Music Mojo. I'm TC from TKR Video Central, and that wonderful lady over there is
Dawn from Two Hip Chicks. Welcome, everyone.
okay. You want to explain what we're talking about tonight? This was your idea, so
It was
what?
Mary's idea, actually, and she is, of course, not here with us to defend her idea. Actually, there was an article she found online discussing record stores, I believe, and this I've actually you put the link in the notes so everybody can go look at it. But let me. You want me to share the?
That's up to you. If you want to, you can.
There we go. So this is a shot of the article, and it is LA's oldest record store is also its lowest rated. Record collector, longtime stalwart in Los Angeles, has an owner with a very particular approach and business model. So she brought this up to me, and you guys can go check out the link as well. So
It's an interesting article. You guys should read it, definitely.
it is an interesting article. I mean, when I flashed on it, first of all, being a previous retail person, I've had owned my own business, retail, like walk-in business. I've had a rental place, so I'm not alien to the concept of customers coming into your space to buy things. Okay. And Mary is the same. She had an antique store for a while, and she's worked other jobs. So you kind of, and as a customer how you want to be treated also, even if you've never been in business in your entire life. You have bought things, because this is America, for gosh sakes, and it is a capitalist society, where you have to buy things. So you know how you want to be treated. Well, this gentleman has a unique business model, let's call it, I guess, where he's, and the best, kind of the best way I can think of to give you an idea of what I'm talking about is, you remember Seinfeld? You remember you remember the soup Nazi?
Mm-hmm.
That this guy kind of comes across as that to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what it said to me. So he's very exacting in his requests for people who come into his space to not just come in to browse or to look at the place or to see if they want to buy something. You have to come in there with a list of titles and an artist or artists that you are looking for, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. So this is an alien concept to me as someone who has not only been a customer, but also, like I said, I've been in retail. I've tried to sell things to people. I wanted to bring them in the store, and this is very alien to me.
Yeah.
So then it's like I'm thinking to myself, how many other record stores do this? My local guy. I mean, I only know the record stores I've been in, the local places I've been in. Mom and pop. This is considered, I guess, a mom and pop store. It's not a chain.
Mm-hmm.
Are very welcoming. Come and look around, take a look. Ask questions if you have any. And if you're looking for something, let me know and I'll tell you where it is. But everything is labeled and categorized, either alphabetized or by genre or whatever, right? And I think this guy deals mostly in jazz and blues, if I'm not mistaken. But looking at the picture I flashed up, and you can go look at the picture again if you'd like. Hey, it's my wife. Hey, sweetie, how you doing? It's your fault we're doing this right now. Blaming my wife. But if you look at the picture, like the picture of him, and I can pull it up again because I don't know if everybody's. It's in the description if you guys watch this later.
It's a great article, very interesting about the way that he. Well, let's be honest, and I said it to you earlier. He's the type of person that needs to be a gatekeeper.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's an interesting. Some of the quotes in the article in the interview are really antithetical to what I would think of as somebody trying to sell records to a person who wants to buy something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so, exactly. So, and while we were talking before we started, I was looking at these racks from this guy here. I mean, look at what he's next to. This is just like he's got jazz there. I can see a couple records that I recognize. And then, but all above him here is just stacks and stacks and stacks, or rows and rows and rows of records. And even on that back wall, I don't see any identifiers at
Uh-uh.
all.
He
So
probably knows right where they are, but nobody else is going to.
I'm sure he does. And of course, that would be crazy if you wanted to browse through things. You couldn't really, but even then, he has to pick it for you, right? He has to tell you where it is. And if he has it by just that alone. So that just kind of makes me think it's his collection. And he just happens to be playing at selling stuff because I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, but
But
you know
anyway,
something that I mean, in all honesty, when you think about it in the long term sense, you have to go back to the 1920s in this country, and even as recently as the 1960s or 70s in Europe, before the concept of self service hit so many stores, you know. So
right.
I mean, before that, the grocer would go get you need and make a basket for you or whatever, give you the list, you give him a list. So this guy is just continuing that on, but he's
He
doing it
seems
for
to.
music.
And the name of his store is The Record Collector, which I think is, and I
Hmm.
mean, that says it all right there, right? Um,
There is a store like this in New Jersey where the gentleman is very similar, and he specializes in 45s rather than albums. I've read about him in Goldmine a couple of years ago. And he is also, although he has regulars that he lets come in and chat and talk things over, they still can't browse. They need to have a list of what they want. But he's a little bit more personable than this gentleman appears to be from what he was saying in the article. So,
yeah. Yeah, it appears so. And of course, I don't see any 45s here at all. This is all LPs.
no, it's all LPs.
But I mean, it looks in this picture here too. It's like he's going to accost you at the door uh, if you come in and don't have a list in hand or whatever. It's like, no, you can't come in and just look around. Because also probably people would mess up his organization, I would think.
Yeah.
Because people do that, people it happens in Walmart, for God's sakes. You pick up something and you put it back in the wrong place. It just happens. So I'm sure he doesn't want that either. But yeah, it's just kind of amazing to me.
Yeah.
And you said
I
this
mean,
guy in has 45s. It has the same or type of
he does. He does all
rules
40, mostly 45, similar rules, but he's a little bit more lenient. If you're a regular, he'll take you and let you browse through that section, but he'll stand there and talk to you while he does that. And actually, for a while, he was
uh,
appointment only because of COVID. I don't know whether he's still doing that or not, but he seemed to be more personable slightly than this gentleman comes off in the article. So I haven't not met this guy. I can't claim anything spectacular, but I don't know whether he would actually be rather grumpy old man. Hey kids, get off my record collection,
yeah, or
um,
whatever.
or not. Yeah, but I've run into this a few times. Other members of the vinyl community have talked about um, different instances or incidents that have happened um, where the store owner is less than enthused by the way they're browsing. Um,
Yeah.
I think that's insane. As a collector, and I don't know how you are, Don, because I don't know how you shop for stuff, but if I'm looking at used stuff, you better damn well better be sure I'm going to check the vinyl.
Well, gosh, yeah.
There are some stores that won't let you look at it. They expect you to take their word for it at the condition and the price, and they get angry if you try looking at it. I've seen this from two or three vinyl community members, um, all of whom were in the southern part of the United States, mostly Florida. And the one guy said he'd been going there for years. The guy had never been rude to him before, and then he was checking once he came in, and I guess maybe the owner didn't know he was checking things ahead of time, but he basically threw him out of the store for checking
For
vinyl.
looking at for check
Yeah,
he wasn't opening things that were sealed either. He was just
no,
he was
he was looking at stuff that was there. And I'm like, you're going to want to do that.
Well, yeah, especially if it's not sealed, right? I mean, you know that the condition. I understand
Right.
that they probably visually grade things.
Yeah.
Nobody can play grade everything except for maybe
No.
us, but they visually grade things. So I guess if you have, I wouldn't have a problem with that if I. Okay, so tell me you don't want. First of all, tell me you don't want me to look at it. Tell me you don't want my hands all over your vinyl. I get that.
Yeah.
Can I bring it up to the counter and you pull it out so I can look at it? Is an
Yeah.
option.
Yeah.
And if at that point I buy something from you and I go home and play it and you say it's this grade and it's not, it's lower graded, in my, according, then you're probably not going to buy from that person again or that
Right.
store.
Yeah.
So I would probably, in a situation like that, they better post that they don't want you touching and opening the records,
Yeah.
because people do that instinctively.
Yeah.
Most people do. I mean, you're not just trusting it blindly. And people who have obviously been burned before with records, but also, yeah, if you're not going to post it, don't get irate and just throw people out. If they do look, just tell them I
Mm-hmm.
would rather you didn't do that. If you want to see something, let me know. I will pull it out for you, and you can see it in my hands.
Yeah.
I understand they don't want fingerprints all over shit. I get that.
Oh, yeah. I do too. But, if you're a collector, you know how to handle it anyway.
You
So,
should, yeah.
yeah.
You should. Oh, there is more. So there's some younger people in his store too.
Yeah. And he's probably not happy about it.
So he's got people. Yeah, he probably just let them in because the magazine was there taking pictures. I would love to go check this place out because I think it would just be very interesting to see what he has. It's always the same shot too. Like that's the same bin. He's got the ladder
Yeah.
there, so it's the same angle.
Well, I'd bring him list just to see what he has.
Yeah, exactly.
Come up with a
Exactly.
bunch of stuff he's never heard of, probably,
Well, that's the other thing.
just to piss him
I
off.
mean, I assume that he's mostly into jazz and blues,
Yeah.
stuff. So if you walked in, from what I've seen of the records they're showing that he has, it's yeah, that's the genre. Um, Maybe some older. Trying to see, yeah. So I understand also from reading the article that he's really not impressed with other genres of music. I
Yeah.
doubt there's any disco in his collection or pop music, country, electronica, whatever. There probably isn't any of that there.
Yeah.
I agree with him
That's
in the
sad.
fact that records shouldn't cost $30 to $40. New ones, I agree with that. But yeah,
Well,
so
there have been some studies that say that the new price records for new unopened, brand new pressings, are actually pretty much in line with inflation overall. So I don't have a problem. I mean, I
mhm,
prefer it to be under 30, and I'm not going to pay some of the ridiculous prices Record Store Day asks for. But yeah,
yeah.
I will. It depends on what it is.
And also the quality of it. I mean, there's a lot of talk out there about newer pressings being not as good as the older ones, right? The
Mhm.
vinyl quality isn't as good. The quality control isn't as good for that matter. Things like that. So, and just the overall sound of it doesn't seem to be, probably mostly because of the quality of the vinyl. The sound of it doesn't seem to be as good in some cases. I'm not saying that's in all cases. But so, yeah, I think they'll try to do stuff as cheaply as possible, but even back then they try to do things as cheaply as possible. Look at some of the junky pressings we found in just shopping around. Well, hi Patrick, hello sir. I
Hey,
need to get into
Patrick.
the I need to get into the chat. I'm not looking at comments. Hang on. Hey, there you go.
Hey, Patrick, why
I was
don't you
looking at
head to
comments
San
first.
Francisco or to Los Angeles and go in this store asking him for the Transformers album? Let's see what kind of reaction
Ooh,
he
I
gets.
love that. I would bring a camera with me for that one. I would. I would walk in and just say, "Okay, hit it." But yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so who do we got here? Let me see. Rachel hello, hey, Rachel, how you doing, sweetie? Rachel, Mary, of course. We said hey to my wife earlier. Wonder what his prices are like, especially since, yeah, he seems very attached to his collection. I don't know what he doesn't have any pricing structure posted either. I noticed that.
Yeah, which is the
Patrick.
way the one that I was telling you earlier before we went on the air was too. They didn't have any prices on the records or anywhere on the shelf. You just had to take their word for it that this was the price. And I'm sorry, but I go back. This was 1992. I was looking to pick up a Steelers Wheels album, the
Oh yeah.
first album, in decent shape. Oh, VG, it's $35. I'm like, um, I've seen it for 12. What do you mean it's $35? No, and I never went back either. So
Yeah.
they're
Um
ridiculous.
there are I mean it's now with the internet, with the interwebs. I've been to um I've been to well, let's just say I've been to pawn shops and they don't have prices on their stuff either. Most of it they'll say, "Okay, let me look that up on eBay." Well, and I think that I don't know, he either knows his values or he knows what they were worth, but doing that I don't like that. I like to have a price on a record. If you're trying
It's
to
a Yeah.
game the market, maybe, I don't know, or just know what you value it to be versus what
Hmm.
the rest of the world values it to be, or is it part of the cachet of actually like walking into his place and buying a record from him? You pay for that. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know,
Actually,
but I don't,
last
like you said,
night's
I don't know the guy.
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. I was
I,
finished.
last night's last night's episode of Two Guys Talking About Records, which is Jim and Steve. Um, they were talking about median prices as opposed to high and low on Discogs and what their highest price records were, and they explained a lot about how Discogs pricing is not always
Mhm.
accurate, especially in the high end, because you look at the high end and
Yep.
you're getting like these ridiculous amounts. It actually averages out the last 10 sales and it
Yeah.
affects it all the way across the board. So
Yep.
something that's actually worth about 30 for a decent copy might say 55 if somebody sold it for that much,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it'll come back down eventually. I thought that was interesting.
It
But
goes it goes by grade as well as the last, like you said, the last 10 records or whatever in time over time, and they'll graph it out for you. But yeah, you're not, even if you have a VG plus or a near mint record, you're not probably going to get $55 for it
yeah,
because there are other people that have it listed for that. Whoever bought that at $55, God bless them, right? But it's probably only worth 30. So yeah, it's not, it's like, well, being a reseller, it's like going over eBay solds. If I'm trying to price an item for sale, same thing. I am looking at the average or the median of it. I'm not looking, but I'm not going to go with the very highest because I know it won't sell right away. There's sell through
right.
rate involved too. So valuing your records, yeah, it's kind of hard.
That's one of those reasons why I don't pay over. I try never to overpay, because there's been things I've missed on record store day that you can get on Discogs. But when the list price for it was 45 to $46 and they're selling it for 150, no, I'm not paying that price because it will
No,
sustain the flippers, number one, and number two, it will keep the regular price high for what it is actually worth. I can't justify that kind of expense.
right. Patrick's doing a flyby. You fly by, buddy. You fly by. Yeah, I agree. And I don't like to be the scalpers is basically what it is, right?
Yeah,
You're trying to get the most money because you have something that nobody else has. That's why people go into iPhone stores and buy, the latest iPhone and try to stock up and get as many as they can. Um, thank goodness they started doing you only get one deal when you go in to get a new phone or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of crazy how people will try to game the system and make money. I understand
yeah,
supply and demand, but um, with that comes a little bit of responsibility to your fellow man, I guess. And I don't
With
know.
with great
What do you
power
guys
comes
think?
great responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, I'm, I'm not going to be the person like during COVID, right? People were selling hand sanitizer and all sorts of things, but a lot of people weren't selling them at outrageous prices. A lot of people were just being reasonable about selling them. And of course,
Hmm.
then there were the people that ruined it for everybody. So then you couldn't sell it at all because
Yeah.
they were afraid of scalpers or whatever, taking
Yep.
advantage of people.
Yep.
So it's human nature, I guess. But with this great stock of records this guy has, as far as I can tell from the pictures. And again, guys, go read the article because it's really kind of interesting.
Yeah. The
Um,
article's awesome.
he's going to want to step out of that position soon. He's going to try to sell his business. Um, and he wants it to be run the way he's running it, from what I understand reading the article.
Yeah.
He wants to find somebody that is his soulmate when it comes to this type of. I don't know if he's going to find that.
I
I
don't
think
think so.
not in today's market. You really can't be this guy. And I don't think he's online for sure. He's only in store, so he doesn't have a catalog or anything. Because I don't think he has a pricing structure in place. It would be hard for him
Yeah.
to have to set a price if he was online. So,
That's
are
what
there any stores?
back in the 70s, there was this place when I was first getting into collecting. There was this place called Discontinued Records. They were a mail order unit out of New York,
Cool.
and they would send you. You could send them a list of what you were looking for, and then they and a SASE, to get the a reply back,
Self-addressed stamped
and
envelope. Yeah.
yep, and they
Yep.
would send you a list. They would go through and say, "We have this in stock. It's this for new, this for very good, this for, near mint, so on and so forth." And even
Mm-hmm.
back then, some of the ones I asked about, which were five, six, $7 when they came out in the early 70s, were 25, 30, $35. And I'm like,
Damn.
yeah, but they were open. They gave you different prices for different conditions. They were already doing that. And I appreciated that. I never ended up using them, but I thought mom thought they were way out of line. $25 for a new album? That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, back
So
then that was a lot more money too.
it was, yeah.
Back then it was a lot of money. Hey,
Especially for the things
Glams,
I was looking for. Hey, Glabs.
welcome, dear. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys ever been to a store where it doesn't have to be vinyl, just anything, mom and popish, privately owned place where they kind of gate kept. Do you call it a gatekeeper, right? Somebody who
Yeah.
just you will come in, you will do it this way, and you will have to leave if you don't. Anybody? Because I really have a hard time imagining in a retail space that working. Obviously, this guy's got a lot of bad press and bad comments and such and poor ratings because of it, but
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder because it just like I said it blows my mind being a former a retail person that you could do this. It's not like
I,
you're bringing people into your own house, which maybe he feels this is his own space, right? I mean, it is his collection per
yeah, I
se.
worked in the retail record industry for over a decade. And I worked for two different chains. One was regional in Ohio, the other one was national. And I was a buyer. I was an assistant manager. I mean, I did a little bit of everything. And if they ever did, I mean, even on the local
Right?
chain, where the owner was kind of known for being, kind of prickly,
Mm-hmm.
especially to his employees. You get smacked out of hand if you did something like that with the customer.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Transworld chain, they were, I mean, they're still around, but they're not owned by Transworld anymore. Now they're all FYE stores and they're owned by Sunset Records Canada, but they're
For your
a
entertainment,
Sunrise
baby.
record. Yeah. But
For your
yeah,
entertainment.
you
Yeah.
don't regular
Thank you,
stores
dear.
like that. You just didn't treat like that.
Yeah. He also TC also put it in the what do I want to call it? Not the comments, but
Show
the
note in the show notes on the
show notes. Thank you. Yeah.
TKR on TKR Video Central show notes. So
There's a glimpse. Ever since I worked Empire Records movie came out in the 90s, I wanted to work in a record store. Yeah.
Empire Records is awesome, Glams. Love that movie. I was working for Transworld when that came out. There wasn't anybody in our store that didn't go, yes. So
Truly.
it was, it was a great movie, and yeah, I know what you mean.
I guess this is as close as I can get to working in a record store right now. Just doing what we do and whatnot and such. But yeah, so I don't know. It was just Mary found this article. She thought it would be a good idea to discuss tonight. It just blows me away that this individual, God bless him, he's probably a nice guy, but it seems like it's anti everything you want to do when it comes to having a business to try to sell things to people.
I wish I'd thought of
Right?
sending the article to Mazzy, because I don't know why, but I would love to hear what Mazzy has to say about this guy and the way he operates, because he is a true collector, a true audiophile, knows music inside and out. He worked in the music industry for years, and yet one of his favorite activities is browsing. This guy would make
Oh yeah.
him crazy, I would think.
Yeah, they would. That's the one thing that bothered me probably the most. Besides the fact that, of course, you don't treat your customers that way, but also part of the joy for me is going through and browsing through and finding either artists I didn't know existed or copies of records that I didn't, I wasn't even aware that were out there. Different things like that, where you can't do that if you have to walk in with a list and a list of the song, the record you want or the artist you want. That to me is just bizarre. I love to bin dig. Speaking of bin digging, the guy, our local record store, Three Pillars, has been sold to a guy that worked for the owner, the previous owner. He bought the record store. He got rid of all the dollar bins. Like, no. But yeah.
Why would you do that? That's what draws people in.
I know, right? So everything got either moved to the $2 to $3 bins or whatever. And I said, okay, everything. And he's like, well, no, I did toss some stuff. And I'm like, no, but yeah. So
that's what I miss more than anything as a collector. I miss old-fashioned cutout bins.
Yeah.
You used to be able, I mean, before I started expanding my collection when COVID hit, I had already 700 albums, and about half of that came from cutout bins, all in the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, I just picked, you could pick,
there
was one store that had cutouts for 10 cents a piece when they first opened.
Damn.
I got 200 albums in one weekend for under $20.
Damn.
So, I mean, and some of them were, they were all by artists who were well known. I miss that more than anything about browsing.
Yep, agreed. I mean, the best we can do now is maybe Walmart will have a 50% off record sale or something, which they've done in the past. But
Walmart and Target do have good sales when they do have them. I don't do Walmart at all, but Target, if I know they're on sale or they're having something, I'll head over there and see what they've got.
Yeah, we don't have a local Target. We got to go out an hour out of town to get to a Target.
Oh, geez. We have one just a couple of miles down the road. And they don't have a lot of vinyl either. And what they do have, they don't take care of.
Yeah.
So it's probably not in good shape.
Possibly. Yeah, the Walmart here has some vinyl, but it's not well taken care of either. It's not organized. It's put up on the most ridiculous bin or racks I've ever seen. They're about this thick and they're like 3 or 4 high, and and they slide down. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So they weren't originally designed for that, I don't think. But
I've never been to the Walmart up here. We have what I guess they call it a superstore. It's 2 floors.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been to that, but I've looked it up online, and according to the online site, they don't have vinyl at that one. And I'm like, what? I'm not going to go up there if I don't know that they have vinyl, because that's the only thing I'd be going in there for.
I do know that since our local Walmart did a reset, I guess we'll call it, they got rid of a lot of their physical media. I think they're keeping their vinyl, but they got rid of a lot of their DVDs. Veronica with a K. Hello, dear.
Hey,
A lot of the
Veronica.
DVDs and CDs gone. So
Yeah, another channel I watch regularly. I think it was Retail Archaeology was talking about how both Target and Walmart are getting rid of a lot of the physical media, including video
yep,
games, which I thought
yep,
was interesting. Um,
yeah. Because now you can get
Everybody
it. You
seems to
load it
think
up
physical
online.
media is dead, and yet the more you hear, the more horrors, the more it goes away, the more horror stories you're hearing from the studios about the mergers and the streaming and all that stuff. That's another topic for another show. But man, it's nuts out there.
It
Never
is.
stop buying physical media. Otherwise
Amen
you
to
don't
that.
own it.
But and go shop at this guy's place because I'd like to see just a bunch of people go in there and see if they could talk him into. I don't know. Probably
Flash
wouldn't
mob.
happen. Flash mob in the store. He might get some. He might get some people in there, and he's looking to sell, kids. So if you want to buy a hell of a collection of blues and jazz, this is your spot. It's in L.A.
Yeah, for $5 million.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say nothing's cheap these days.
No, that's a bit ridiculous because that
$5 million.
I don't think that includes the stock. It just includes the building. I might be wrong, but I don't know.
What? Just the building?
I don't know. Does it clarify, Mary? You had the article there. Is it clarifying that he is putting the records as part of that, or is it just the building and everything in it? Because the one I read said he was going to sell and it was going to be, some plus million plus, but it didn't include the inventory.
He has 500,000 records. I'm looking at it right now. That's amazing. He's been doing it for 50 years.
Oh, I'm way behind then. I've been doing it for 50 years.
Is.
I don't have that many. Cheeky bastard.
Well, you keep coming to my whatnot, and you will.
Oh, yeah, true enough.
Truly. Keep coming to whatnots, and those $5 million for the building, which does not include the business itself, nor the trove of records. Though the price for those is negotiable, he says.
Yeah. Since you brought it up, that was our midway break point, I
Thank
think.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dawn's not nearly as skin flinty when it comes to that treasure trove of 45s they bought.
Nope,
Although she is
letting them
insistent
go.
keeping me away from the
Pylons?
storage locker.
Sorry about that. I know. I love that clip. It's fun. Thank you, TC, for the clip. Yeah. I've been trying to be good and upload those whatnots before the weekend, and I did this time too. I got them up on Friday, so those were ready to go. So, yeah. If you're not doing anything, come and listen to music, kids. It's fun. I didn't see. Now, speaking of listening to music, I don't see any turntable space there. Like, a lot of places will have like a turntable you can listen to stuff on.
Yeah.
Sorry. I had Arby's for dinner.
Oh.
There is no turntable. There's no listening stations. There's nothing.
No. Well, of course not. He doesn't want you in there browsing. He's not going to play anything for you. Are you kidding? You want to listen to it? Take it home and listen to it, you whippersnapper.
Yeah, there you go. That's crazy. That is an absolute nuts.
Yeah.
But I don't know who the ball Wait a minute.
I got to send this article to Jim and Steve because I'm curious as to what they think of this too. Because Jim is a record store owner. He owns Radio Wasteland in Midland, Michigan. I would love to know what he thinks of this guy. I just think it's hilarious.
It's definitely interesting because it's like I said, soup Nazi. I can't come up with anything better than the soup Nazi for this guy. It's like you come in my space, you play by my rules, and you leave if you don't. Yeah. Come back when you can pay enough respect to the genre, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. 5 million.
Yeah, for
For
no
the building.
records.
I mean, maybe in LA
Just the
that's
building.
worth it. Maybe in LA it's worth it. But if he wants 5
Yeah,
million
it
for the
probably
building,
is.
good God, what does he want for the records? There's no way he's going to sell that. He's going to die. It's going to go to his estate or whatever, and located across the street from Fairfax High School.
Yeah, I'm with Clams. Where's my Arby's?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Nobody wanted to cook after the bathroom remodel. Excuse me. Nobody wanted to cook after with the pounding and the sawing and the banging and the noise. So we went to
Oh,
Arby's. It was the best
that
thing
was
to do.
almost Lawrence Welk sounding, Don. You should have put a little bit more oomph into it.
The pounding, the pounding and the sawing and the hammering. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. Exactly. So yeah, that's what we were talking about tonight, guys. Have you ever run across anybody in the chat? Ever run across a retailer? Doesn't have to be a record store, but any retailer or any space like that where you pretty much had to go in. You're gonna take no tomfoolery. You're going in there with a list. You're going in and coming out. And that's it, or something to that effect. So we had a retail space, and we did offer. There you go. Fast food well knowledge. Oh, I know. Another question is to say what.
Yeah.
Does he have? You couldn't tell, sweetie. He doesn't seem to have any dividers or any alphabetized or anything like that, or genre tags or anything in those racks. That, if you guys go look at the pictures in this article, you will be hard pressed to find anything that denotes what's in the bins or on the shelves.
It would be interesting to know if he somehow is on Discogs under a name that nobody could find.
Possibly, but I
Mary,
don't think he is.
You're the one that does a super computer
super
hacker
researcher.
digger.
That's right.
Well, see if you can find this guy on Discogs.
So you've got a label. You've got a couple different records to look for the same person. Jazz, Metropole, and what was the other one he had up?
Yeah,
there was another record he had listed.
That is exactly what it is, Clams. He doesn't want you in there unless you have a list. You can't browse. You can't do anything.
And Art Blaney, a Golden Boy, were the two albums that you can really tell what they say. But other than that, so yeah, curmudgeon. I know, right? That's him, man, for sure. You know, and I know he's probably doesn't want people touching his stuff. I get that. I mean, we were talking earlier. It's like, don't touch my records, right? Don't look at them. Don't pull them out. Don't be looking through the. Yeah, I get that. You don't want things.
That's insane.
Stuff. But
I mean, a lot of people in the vinyl community do like flip tours of record stores, and I think most of them ask ahead of time. You know, can I film? You mind if I shoot? Steve Carlson has one up every Thursday practically for the various record stores he goes to, but they're all over the vinyl community. Most store owners are not going to have.
He does have an Instagram account, like 30 bucks.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, an Instagram account.
Yeah,
that was probably done by his lovely wife there on his lap. I think that's his wife. Yep, his wife. I bet his wife did the Instagram. I think that was it.
I have no patience for dealing with curmudgeons like that. I would rather go in to some place. I mean, even online, you know, there are certain places that I go for everything when I want to buy something. I know I can depend on the people who work at that store. I know that they appreciate my business. A lot of them have become friends. I mean, I've in the odd occasion when I've gone into record stores, since I didn't go into a record store for ages before COVID, and then when I got back into collecting, I've only been to a couple since then.
Thanks for coming, Glams.
Oh, bye, Glams. You're late for your.
Here to go.
And
gotta get out of here.
One of them I've been into lately. They've all been super nice. I went in looking for prizes for Robert's Lottery one year to this little place, this little hole in the wall that had top rated, uh, online was top rated in Somerville. And
Mm-hmm.
number one, the space is so tiny, it's literally about the size of my office, which is scary. And they have a
That's
coffee
tiny.
bar too. But the guy, he was super, super friendly. Are you looking for anything specific? I don't know if we're carrying that. Let me see. If
I can
not, you
order
want
it
to
for you,
yeah,
right?
I can get it for you. Let me look in the inventory. You want to have a coffee while you wait while I look? I'm like that. I mean, I was amazed at how that was going. And everybody in Boston seems to be, at least the ones I've been in before and after, that weren't chains. Most of them were chains. Have always been that way. I've not experienced the kind of snarkiness I had at this one place in Columbus years ago in Boston. Even some of the collectors'
Mm-hmm.
specialty shops, they're super nice.
Hmm.
I've heard one particular store on the North Shore can be a bit prickly and demanding if you go in there.
Hmm.
But I've never been there, and personal people I know that have been in there say they're fine, that those reviews are just because that person had a bad day or something.
Right.
So
Yeah. So Rachel said years ago when I worked at a retail space, major retailer, we had to meet a quota for people to buy monetarily. If we came in and walked around and just browsed, our goals would go into deficit. Yeah, that's a weird kind of thing to have, but I understand it.
yeah,
It's like being a call center where you have to talk to so many people in an hour. You have to have, you have to have them off the phone by a certain amount of time or whatever. That's kind of crazy
yeah,
too. But this guy, this is his own private business / collection. So he sets the tone for what he will accept and not accept in a customer base, I guess. And that's the weird part. Um, it's almost discriminatory. I don't want to say that, but it's almost discriminatory
yeah,
because if he doesn't like the looks of you, you're out the door. Which I
yeah.
guess any
That would
business has a
never
right.
fly in Massachusetts. There'd be all kinds of people,
We have
screaming
the
rights
right to.
violations and stuff.
Yeah, we have the right to deny service to anybody. I get that, but because of your taste in music, seems a little extreme to me. Yeah.
It's not like he has a no shirt, no shoes, no service sign. He doesn't have a no music taste, no service sign, no
He
list, no
might have a
service
no disco, no rap, no country
sign.
sign. I don't know. I didn't see the window, but
Well, he's
yeah.
got 500,000 records. He's got to have a little bit of everything.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, Mary says, what did Mary say? His
He
store
isn't
isn't
listed
listed
on
on Discogs
Discogs.
in their record store directory. Yeah. What about deliveries? What? UPS, what? Multiple trips. Oh, yeah. That's crazy. Are you talking about the time quota you got for that as well? That can be bad. But this guy's setting his own pace, right? He's loving life. He doesn't care.
Yeah. Have you run into anybody like this, Don?
No, truly not. I've never walked into a place I didn't feel somewhat welcome, at least. And the record stores in particular are always, like you said, hi, how you doing? Take a look around. If there's anything you want or what you need or looking for, let me know. Usually they're saying if you buy multiples, I'll give you a deal because they want to like build the businesses up and stuff. But
Do
as
you
far as like any
encounter it?
other retail type of store,
Yeah.
no.
Have you guys encountered anybody with that kind of attitude at the record shows you've been doing?
As far as what this guy's attitude,
Like that kind of like people who are like hovering over people looking through what they have on sale, or not wanting to haggle on the price if somebody thinks it's too high, or something like that. You guys have been doing that. You got another one coming up, what, next month?
oh
September?
my God, you're right. We do. Yeah. No, I truthfully, holy crap, I gotta go. Yeah. Everybody I talked to at the record shows we've been to have been very personable and nice. If you ask them to cut a deal, some will say, yeah, I can give you a little bit off, and some will say, no, I pretty much got to stick firm. Or, I have a sick dog and I need to pay for the vet bill or something. There's a
Right.
reason that they can't give you a price break. But
Hmm.
I haven't run in, I mean, and they like to talk about music, right? So they like to talk about their favorite genres and their favorite artists. And I get all that.
Yeah.
And, but that's part of the fun of it. I have never had anybody say, oh, you're looking for that? That's crap music. I don't carry that. Nothing like that has ever happened to me anyway. Every time I ask for the Transformers for Patrick, I get oh, I'm sorry, no, I don't have that. I
The
don't get
one, the
why
one,
the hell do you want that? Why the hell would you
the
want
one
that?
time I got any reaction when I went to a show was I went to a comic show at a hotel in Boston. Oh, early 2000s, because I was looking for a bootleg of Lord of the Rings, which wasn't out on DVD yet, and I went in and I went through. They were very personable until I got to the counter. Till I got to the top of the table with my purchases. I bought like $60 worth of tapes, and the guy saw my jacket. I had
Yeah.
a jacket on that said Media Management, which was the parent company of my previous employer, discjockey.com. Media Management, what are you doing here? I thought they went out of business. I'm like, yeah, we did kind of go under a few months ago, kind of went under. Oh, I owe them money for my website. I'm like, well, there you go then.
That might
The
be the
guy
reason.
had
It was you should
jerked
have
out.
said.
He's like he jerked out on the money he owed my boss for uh for his website for like a year. He just never paid for it. Rich shut
You
him
should
off.
have said, you're the reason we went out of business.
And I'm
It
like,
was you.
oh, dude, it's out of business. You don't have to worry about it. This is just from when I was with discjockey.com. So it's like, okay. But I mean, we never had that problem working with them either. I mean, we dealt with a number of record stores in the Salem area, and all of them were super nice working
Yeah.
with us and helping us to get deals. And we also, worked with them to get discounts for prizes and stuff like that we would do on air. And nobody ever had this kind of attitude that this guy had. So,
I know, right? No, I don't think, Veronica, that my taste in music is just that good. I want some weird shit. Or at least what people think is weird. So, as TC can tell you, if you go in asking for Miko, they look at you funny. They really do.
yeah, they do.
They look at you funny, and I still do. Did you ever pick up that Miko album?
Not yet, no.
You
I
should.
haven't been shopping for anything yet, but it's still in my want list on Discogs, so
Very
I'll
good.
pick it up eventually.
Very good. I thoroughly enjoy this. It's running close behind second for my favorite from him. So
This is Swing Time's greatest hits, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yep, really good.
Yeah, I need to get what I'm missing still, because I'm still missing 3 or 4 things I want, but I haven't. I'm not normally a completist, but there are certain artists, and he's one of them that I've tried to get everything by, especially now that he's not with us anymore. He was just such a great, amazing producer, arranger, conductor, trombonist.
Mm-hmm.
I could
Yep,
talk
I
about the guy
agree.
all the time, and most of the vinyl community would be like, "What
Yeah, I know,
crap?"
right? That's it. So everybody has their thing, and but I so you wouldn't say okay. So let's go to that next space then. If you were to
Okay.
have a record store, would you specialize like this guy specialized obviously in jazz? Would you specialize in your favorite genres, or
No,
would you try to
no.
diversify as much as humanly possible?
If I ever do a record store, and I'd love to, I mean, I've been trying to do my own record store for 40 years if I could ever find the money. But no, I would do an Empire Record style store with everything. I would stock it with
With
knowledgeable
everything, yeah.
people that knew special genres and stuff. And it would be just like Empire Records or High Fidelity or any of those, where it's a mom and pop that really gives a crap about what you want, and it doesn't matter what genre it is. Even if it's crap to us, that doesn't mean it's crap to you. Which is
That's
how
true.
Spinnaker's down on the Cape is that way. It's a mom and pop store in Hyannis. Great people. They let me take pictures and stuff in there once, and they don't care if it's something they don't like, if you like it and they've got it, they'll point you to it. And that's what I
Yeah.
always wanted to do.
Cool. Yeah, I would probably be the same way. Although I probably wouldn't carry much country, but no, just joking.
I
do
doubt
love
that I'd
country.
have a large opera section. I don't know enough about it.
True.
I know
True.
enough, and I would hire people that did know rap and country, particularly. I know a little bit about both, but not enough to really know what's hot, who's really good, who sucks. You know,
Who sucks? Who sucks? I got a feeling I'm gonna get a message.
I would have, I would
Um,
have one, I would have one particular thing. We would not stalk Taylor Swift.
you would lose half your customer base.
Just to piss off the Swifties.
Oh, come on, man. You sounded like this guy now. I bet
No
you what if
Taylor
anybody
Swift,
walks in and
never.
asks for, do you have any Taylor Swift, sir? Get out of my store.
Yeah,
Get
that's
out
the
of
way
my
I'd be.
store. I don't mind Taylor Swift. She's just like any other more popular artist these days.
I'm not a big fan. Kim likes her. I'm not a big fan.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, we'd
Well,
sell it because people would.
rude
People
TC.
want it.
Rude.
People would want it, and I would sell it. I wouldn't be able to tell them about it. Hire somebody that knows about Swifty stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Surround yourself with people who know their genres for sure.
Absolutely,
Definitely.
absolutely. Like when I worked for Transworld, people knew. When I worked at one particular store for a couple of years, we knew Neil. Anybody could talk to him about rap. Charlie and Scott, alternative and rock, right up their alley. Folk music, they went to Meredith, disco, dance, boy bands, me. I knew what I was doing and I could help them out. But I knew enough about everybody, everything else. We all did, but we all had our specialties too.
Yeah. Yes,
I
we
miss
know,
those
Patrick.
days.
We know. It would be nice. Michael Jackson? Sure, why not? Why not? Well, it's ticking down to that time, sir. Where are you this week and what's going on with you?
I am working on shows. I'm a little under the weather right now, but I'm hopefully going to have everything up on time this week. And I'm working on fixing a program that Dawn's presence miraculously fixed the issue I had. So I should have the other stuff up, but I have shows up usually at 11 a.m., which is Obscuria on Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. And
Nice.
on the weekends, same time, but different shows.
Yeah. Well, we will be back in 2 weeks on our channel. So topic to be determined. So if you guys want to talk about anything specific, please let us know. If you'd like to come on and be a guest, please let us know because we're always welcome people who want to come and talk about music and music related topics. Myself and Mary will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays as usual, Chick Chat on Two Hip Chicks channel. Thursday is still estate sale bingo. TC has lost his ranking now, I believe.
Yep.
And so did Patrick. So
well, Patrick lost it to me, and I lost it to I forget who hit bingo last week. I don't remember.
I think it was Silverhaired Stacker. I mean, or
yes.
No. It was, well,
yeah,
it was,
I think that.
Yeah, one of those guys.
One of them. Yeah.
And so we're doing that. Plus Wednesday we're on with Johnny on his Hump Day auction, and then of course you saw the little bump for Whatnot. We're on Tuesday nights at 7. Plus, I've been doing on the regular now. I've learned from UTC. Yeah. Every Sunday at noon comes the Random 45 play where I'm play grading records that we're pulling for Whatnot and things. So that's
always a lot of fun because there's so many different things and so many different genres that show up. It's been great listening to those.
A lot of fun, and it depends. It might all go to popular sometimes.
And there is a playlist for those on TKR Video Central too. There is a playlist for those.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And I'm also adding your weird album.
And then every Wednesday. That's the other thing. You're gonna love this week's.
Oh yeah, okay.
If you like weird, you're gonna love this week's. Yes, Weird Album Wednesday is at noon on Wednesdays, where I find an album that's just weird, and I play it for you, and you get to listen to it. It's just weird. I don't know
I
what to do
did
with
it.
these.
I
So
thoroughly enjoyed the Yuma Sumac. I haven't heard that whole thing, and that was. I love that stuff anyway, so that was fun listening to that.
and you wouldn't believe this, but when Patrick was here, we went to the record store, right? And I said to the guy, he's like, oh, the new guy who bought the place, he was a guy who bought a bunch of CDs from us at the record show one time. I didn't recognize him. That's who he was. So we bonded over that. And then I said, yeah, I do YouTube. We do the random record plays on Sunday. And then I'm doing a thing now. And it was the first time I'd done it, right? That was the first week. I said, I'm doing a Wednesday. It's Weird Album Wednesday. And I said, have you ever heard of Uma Sumac? And he's like, oh my God, I know her. So there was this big controversy where she's not really an Aztec princess, and her name is Amy something or other, and it's all the name backwards. And I'm
Yeah,
like, are you
Amy
kidding?
Camus. Yeah,
Yes. So it was just like he knew who she was. I was just blown away.
Adam brought that up to me once too.
So very fun. So it was kind of cool. But yeah, check it out if you get a chance. First week of what?
Patrick
What did
was
he
the
say?
first two-week
First-
reign of bingo.
Yeah.
He's going to
You'll
be
get it
Uncle
back.
Bilbo.
I know you will. I trust you guys.
Passing that legend down through the ages.
That's right. Yep, you guys are the best. So that's what we're doing. Thank you everybody for coming in. I think we're probably ending a touch early, but that's okay. TC, don't feel
Okay.
good. I want to get him rested and recovered.
Well, you also have to worry about your wife, who is also not feeling that great.
And the momster is feeling a little under the weather this week as well. She caught it too. I'm trying to fight the good fight and not catch it, but for whatever reason. So there you have it.
Yep.
For sure. You're reading the comments. All right, kids. Yeah, Mary posted the link to the article as well as it is in the show notes. So go read that article about this gentleman. He's very interesting. Yeah.
And let's hope he doesn't sue us if he sees the show.
I didn't say anything bad about him. I can understand
true.
some of it, and I just think it's an odd, what do I want to say, business model.
Yeah, it is.
That's all. That's all I'm saying. Odd business model. It goes against what I know as being a retail thing. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Thank you, TC, for having me.
Hope everybody has a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week. And we'll see you on our various stuff, and we'll see you in 2 weeks here on Finding Your Music Mojo.
Right back in.
Ciao, baby.